So, something a little light today. Something a little, exciting. And a little bit, I have a lot of stories with these. I have a lot of stories. Back when my local area chapter Proud Boys was far more active, this was a thing. And it was funny and fun and, oh my gosh, if ladies, I just want to tell you, if you have been woke fished, we're talking about your asses and we're laughing at you. But I do digress. We do need to first establish what is being woke fished. If a dude describes himself on Hinge, what the fuck is Hinge, as a feminist, first of all, if he calls himself a feminist, it's code for rapist. Just saying. Anyways, pay close attention to how he actually treats women and watch the chloroform. The article starts: when I was about 17, I decided to go vegan. I was trying a lot of things at the time, including getting my nose pierced, which I considered a serious act of rebellion. Oh, she's so edgy. Anyway, I mentioned my new veganism to the guy I was seeing at the time, and to my surprise, he seemed really annoyed. Yeah, 'cause he wanted to take you out to a nice steak place, but no, you had to be a stupid cunt. He responded with an uninterruptible lecture about on the importance of supporting British farmers. Oh, oh, I'm sorry. He's still on soy, isn't he? I can still remember one of his appalled patronizing texts. Oh God, you're not going to become one of those vegan feminists, are you? Whew. Well, at least he saw the writing on the wall. at, at, at least he saw the future. I was confused. He hadn't come across like someone who hated vegan feminists. So where did this come from? Well, if I had to guess, sweetheart, it came from knowing vegan feminists who are absolute shit. But hey, it's not like lived experience means anything these days. I ended things a little while later, which prompted a barrage of texts from him with a lot of derogatory language. It confirmed what I'd begun to suspect. As much as he'd reeled me in with an outwardly woke persona, in reality, we were never going to see eye to eye. I had been woke fished. Now, to be perfectly clear, what this woman experienced was one level of wokeness not being good enough for another level of wokeness. I personally come from a segment of very strong and confident male specimens who consider feminists to pretty much be useful only for anal, and then never seeing them again. That's the kind of woke fish that I'm used to engaging in when I was not married and prowling the scene and all that wonderful jazz. This was before I settled down, but to be perfectly honest, um, I met the Proud Boys after I was married, so I didn't get to do this with the chapter. I didn't get to do this with any of the good, strong men that I met in Proud Boys. No, I got to live vicariously through their stories and hear their hilarious tales, and oh my God, they are aplenty. The amount of humiliation and abuse that Proud Boys have done to feminists is actually it's quite relieving. Like it's cathartic to know that macho men can still reel in these screaming autistic cunts. But woke fishing, simply put, is when people masquerade as holding progressive political views to ensnare potential partners. I'm not even sure Proud Boys have to do this shit. Like, there's very little masquerading. Like, it's more along the lines of, hey, bitch, let me pull your hair and ram your asshole. And they go for it. I mean, you gotta figure. The same population that went to go see the 50 Shades of Grey, they're probably going to be, starving for that kind of attention. And oh boy, was it capitalized on. But continuing on, a wokefish may at first present themselves as a protest attending, sex positive, anti racist, intersectional feminist who drinks ethically sourced oat milk and has read the back catalog of Audre Lorde twice. I'll be perfectly honest. Um, Proud Boys check off one, two, three, three out of the three, four, five. We check three out of the five. Proud Boys do, in fact, attend protests. They are very sex positive and they're anti racist. We just don't get the intersectional feminist doctrine, and we sure as fuck don't drink ethically sourced oat milk and has read the back catalog of Audre Lorde. If I swear to God, if a Proud Boy knew what Audre Lorde is, I think I would laugh at him. Because as I'm talking to you, I don't know what the fuck Audre Lorde is. I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, and I probably don't want to know. But the article continues. Or, as is often the case, they are actively the opposite in their personal lives. Guilty! It's sort of like catfishing, but specifically with political beliefs. Is it really? Is it really? Because most men that I know who engage in quote-unquote woke fishing, at least from my side of the aisle, we really don't hide our political beliefs. Not really that much. Like, we hide them long enough for a one-night stand, pump and dump anal, and then we are done. Like, we are gone. We are nowhere to be found. We want, because that's all, let's be honest. Let's be honest. What is a feminist good for but for anal? What else is she going to give you? It's not like she's going to settle down, be a good wife, make house, make dinner, be the mother of your children. Feminists are only good for anal. So, all you need is, just entertain her for a night, put it in her butt, get your happy on and get out. A lot of us have been woke fished. Yes, you have. You've been woke fished because none of the men that actually hold your political beliefs are attractive to hold your attention. So in order for you to get any dick, you either have to play stupid that you don't know the guy you're talking to that you find attractive is a little, who are we kidding, a lot more conservative than you are. That's probably why you're getting quote-unquote woke fished. You're playing stupid. Maybe now more so than ever. Crises such as the tragic murder of George Floyd and the corona pandemic have thrown societal injustices into an even sharper relief for over the past few months, and as a result, there's been a greater emphasis on individual agency when it comes to the urgent dismantling oppressive systems. Oh my God. Okay, the fact that you said all of that bullshit in one sentence just means you need to get dick. I kid you not. If you pulled this blue-haired cunt from the back of her hair at a bar, her next two words will be, "Fuck me, please." Like, I'm not even kidding. It's no surprise that singles are now consciously choosing partners who are on the same wavelength as them. Just as it's no surprise that others are adapting to circumvent this. Let's be perfectly honest. We don't have to work very hard at circumventing this. There is no one who agrees with your politics that you find carnally palatable. Conservatives are sexy. We have gravitas. We are the enticing ones. Now, and obviously for the first example, she goes for a gay guy. Tom, 23, from Bristol, and has a lot to say about being woke-fished. I remember on my first date with this guy, who gives a shit about the gay dating scene? No, I'm skipping this bullshit. I'm skipping it. I am skipping it. You cannot stop me. She goes into, she summarizes. The guy Tom was seeing was definitely not putting his words into practice. As much as he would talk about being progressive, he would laugh at racial slurs. It was like he used being a quote unquote social justice warrior as a personality trait, but did the exact opposite. Like a social justice warrior would. In fact, if this is exactly what they do on Twitter. Like, no fucking joke. Anyways, relationships falling apart because of differing beliefs is hardly uncommon. You know, we had a solution for this bullshit back in the day. We called it religion. Like, I know. You would find someone who belonged to the same particular sect of your brand of Christianity, so that when marriage things came up, you didn't, find out some awkward bullshit later on, like, you know, this bitch doesn't believe in baptism, or she doesn't believe in this interpretation of this particular miracle. Like, what you have is an ideological difference within the cult, and Christianity has adapted to this, whereas wokeism has not. And I find this to be particularly humorous. Woke fishing can be particularly disturbing and damaging when those on the receiving end belong to marginalized groups themselves. Okay, guys, we need to have a talk. We really do. It is not polite to gangbang the paraplegic woman of color. Just kidding. No one fucking does that shit. But it was funny to imagine. Hannah, 19, was in a relationship with their ex for 6 months. Like Tom, who cares about the faggot, she thought her and her partner shared common ground to begin with. When we first started talking, he spoke about how awful he thought the whiteness of his education was, and how he wished the south of England, where he's from, was more diverse. But things quickly went downhill, and in the most extreme way possible. Please tell me how. He introduced me to his home friends as his dirty Arab girlfriend. Oh my god. Okay. And passed it off as a joke, she remembers. Are you his dirty Arab girlfriend? Did you not play the did you not play that game? Did you not get kinky? Like, were you not the dirty Arab girlfriend? Were you in fact a sexless and celibate couple? I dare ask. Then one day he sat me down, started crying, and told me he used to be involved with Nazi groups. He said before he'd met me, he wouldn't have wanted to marry a non-white person because he thought, quote, mixed race children were impure. Hannah broke up with him shortly after. I'm gonna press X for doubt. Like, his dirty Arab girlfriend used to be involved in Nazi groups and broke down crying while confessing it. This is not how this generally goes down. Like, I have to say, if anyone else had been this man from South England, I bleh, bleh. Moving on. Zara, 23, was Wokefish too. After being in a relationship with her ex for a year, she realized that some of his views seemed really off in a way that they hadn't been to begin with. Okay, so we are slowly judging these men for thought crimes. They're just off. Initially, he seemed very philosophical, artistic, and well-read. He was passionate about the environment and staunchly opposed to the likes of Jordan Peterson, Zara recalls. However, he would want to debate every argument and play devil's advocate the whole time. He didn't accept that some things are fundamental to people's identity and not up for questioning, Zara explains. So he questioned the orthodoxy. What a sinner. Pinpoint, pinpointing the moments when his true colors began to show. Once he tried arguing with my queer best friend that straight people were as oppressed as gay people. I found the incessant need to debate exhausting and often upsetting, and he never acknowledged his own privilege. He questioned the orthodoxy. He committed the cardinal sin of making you think. Therefore, he was impure and had to be purged. Zara eventually ended things after realizing she, quote, didn't realistically have enough in common with him. Layla, a qualified sex and relationships educator who runs the Instagram account Let Me Explain, believes relationships between truly like-minded people are much more likely to be successful in the long run. Again, religion has already discovered this. You don't need to reinvent it or wokeness, but we understand that you cannot help yourselves. In essence, there's little point trying to compromise with a wokefish. In other words, leave your partner now. He is not worthy. Your sexual satisfaction is not worth the cause. Please leave your happy state post haste. My God. Oh. Any relationship is essentially an ongoing process of learning more and more about your partner. Until you know everything. From how milky they like their tea, to the specific taste of their saliva, to their deep fear of cats. It's normal to amplify or tone down certain aspects of your personality in the earlier stages of a relationship. Why tell someone on a first date about your secret, obsessive love of Simply Red? But pretending to believe in certain values when you really don't is straight up weirdo behavior. But also, if you're a wokefish, it might genuinely be worth considering. Why do I hold views that I'm too ashamed to publicly express? Well, that is an interesting question. It is not that we are ashamed of these views. I am proud to report. We are not ashamed of the views that we are hiding from you. We simply care about your sexual satisfaction more than we care about your politics. Boom shakalaka!